One guiding principle is, where are we going? What's the vision? What are we driving towards? But the other guiding principle is, what is reality? What are we actually experiencing now? What problems do if we were truthful with ourselves, what's working and what's not working? Where do we really stand? And for me, the entrepreneurship journey is a beautiful counterbalancing of those two factors. And so there are days when you got to be more on one side or more on the other side. And so it's never been difficult for me to confront reality. And it's also never been difficult for me to dream. And I think what you're describing, which Bloomreach has experienced plenty of times, which is those moments where it should have died. The combination of reality and dreaming is what gets us out of that. Because without recognition, you trick yourself into thinking it's all going to be okay and it actually won't. And on the other side, without aspiration, you confront reality, but you don't know where to go next or how to motivate yourself, the team, and your ecosystem against a new destination. And so I have found that duality has been very powerful in my life and for Bloomberg.
I love that. Speaking of things going wrong, what do you think something, and this is more from the leadership, the entrepreneur, the CEO mindset, what do you think something that you got wrong or Bloomreach got wrong in the early years of building it? And how did you course correct? I know there's always going to be mistakes and issues, but some fundamental strategy error or way of
Yeah, I
thinking.
mean, you're saying like specific to people and building teams.
Yes, yes.
I think we did a lot of things right there, to be fair. I think we hired great people, put them in a position to succeed, built great culture, did a lot of the fundamentals pretty well. I think that when things went off was over complexifying the set of things we were trying to do. Basically underestimating execution because it was so easy for my co-founder Ashu and myself to dream up something and say, we should go do this. No, let's go do that. And pretty soon we were saying, let's do A and Z and B and D and all of these other things and not putting people in a position to succeed. So I think a lot of the missteps have been lack of focus. So the adaptability was a strength because we were able to zig and zag. But if in zigging and zagging we were opening up branches of the tree here and there and here and there, then pretty soon you can't tell the difference about whether the strategy was a good one or whether the lack of focus set you back. And I think at times we've gotten diluted in our focus, and that's been a misstep.
Were there signals in those moments where you were doing too much that brought you back? I mean, this is hindsight 2020. In the moments when you're trying to build something, when you do have to do A through Z in some aspects to build, in those moments, I'm just wondering, is there some places that people can think, here's how I know that I'm doing too much and I need to rein things in?
Well, look, I think that's a great like life skill in general. I mean, so I think at a company level, that's where I feel like we have failed as a leadership team at times is putting too much on the team. But as an individual, I think it's one of the best and most valuable skills to develop is the ability to allocate your time and your energy disproportionately to only the things that matter. And I certainly myself, it's one of the skills that I've developed through my life and I think has served me really well. At the same time, I think it's something that a lot of people struggle with because to do that well involves saying a lot of no's. And we don't want to do that as people. We want to say a lot of yeses. And pretty soon what that then results in is doing a mediocre to poor job in lots of things. And often that happens to us because the people that we work for might ask us to do a bunch of things. Other people might ask us to do other things. We're just trying to be a good colleague. We're just trying to be a good employee. And pretty soon we're not being good at anything. And so that's where the self-discipline of saying, what is the most important thing? Who do I need to communicate with that I'm not going to take on these other things becomes a really important.
Curious, something as an actual insight. If you or your leadership team goes and asks one of your employees to do something and they're getting it from all these different directions, what is the best way for somebody to say no? Because it's weird, it's hard. I wouldn't say no to my boss, let alone the CEO.